to Griffon Update Sports, a student-produced show all about Missouri Western athletics. We've got it all every week. Highlights, games, players, fans, and every sport all year long.
Welcome to Griffon Update Sports. I'm your host, Bailey Ketchum.
And I'm Jake Michael. On today's show, we're going to take a look at the baseball and softball teams and men's basketball.
We'll also find out more about National Signing Day and test your knowledge during our sports trivia segment.
And of course, we'll have our roundtable discussion about a hot sports topic.
This week, we're going to discuss whether or not we think college athletes should be paid.
That's a tough topic. First up, let's hear from our football and soccer coaches about their new signees. Reporter Kenneth Guzman has more on the story.
Today on a chilly, snowy, but yet sunny February day, it's time to look ahead to the 2018 edition of Griffon Football and Soccer.
Wednesday, February 7th, Missouri Western Soccer and Football held its annual National Signing Day inside Spratt Memorial Stadium. While weather in St. Joseph was brutally cold, soccer coach Chad Edwards and his staff were still flaming hot, coming off a stellar season and a great recruiting class.
I'm looking forward to these 15 players coming in and continuing to build the culture and continue to make us better. We still challenge our players every day to continue to set the standard higher. We haven't accomplished anything until we hoist the trophy. And I might take a few minutes off after that, but hopefully this class that's coming in and with the kids that we have coming back, we can hopefully make that happen come this fall.
While Griffon football is coming off yet another 4-7 season, things are looking up for Missouri Western under Coach Matt Williamson, and he's eager as ever.
In the back of my mind, I sat there the whole time thinking about all these guys that hadn't signed yet, but did sign now, as of now, that we're going to be able to add to that core. And it's an absolute great feeling as I walked around and watched and got into all those different scenarios this morning and watched all the little things that we're going to be adding, all these great athletes that we're going to be adding to Missouri Western football. So I'm definitely really excited about that.
Williamson also talked about spreading his recruiting horizon.
Make sure that you spread your wings far. And we did that. We took kids from all over. And I wanted you to know, I went through all the states that we got kids from this year: Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, Nevada, Florida, California, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
One of Williamson's main focuses while recruiting was getting physical players.
When we watch these kids and we break them down, we evaluate them. Are we getting great effort kids that never quit, that are physical and just love the game of football?
For Griffon Update Sports, this is Kenneth Guzman.
Wow, there's going to be a lot of new faces on campus next fall.
I know, I still can't believe I'm going to have 15 new teammates. It's going to take me a little while to learn their names.
Good luck with that. Next up is our current player of the week.
This week, it's men's basketball superstar Cole Clearman. Men's basketball has had some ups and downs, but Cole has been a consistent bright spot in the lineup. Reporter Mackenzie Bowes has more on Clearman.
Cole Clearman has made history at Missouri Western with breaking the career three-point record, as well as becoming the 15th player in the history of Western to score 1,000 career points.
I mean, my first goal was to get to a place that I love, to a coaching staff that I wanted to play for, and I was lucky enough for them to give me an opportunity to get so many minutes, get so many games that I was able to accomplish that.
Cole, first and foremost, works hard. He works hard. He's done a very good job leading. He's invested in the program and he cares. And so I think those things speak volumes about, who he is and what he does. And so I'm very proud of him.
Clearman broke Heath Dudley's 27-year-old three-point record and is the first player since Damon Bailey in 2003 to score 1,000 career points.
I mean, it feels good. I honestly hadn't seen the record book. I had no idea about the three-point record. So, I mean, it feels good. It was actually a surprise to me when I saw that. I knew the 1,000 was coming, but that one was a surprise to me. So, it felt good. When my teammates were congratulating me, I mean, they're the reason why I got to where I got, and my coaches are a big factor in that. My parents, and I just really can't thank my teammates enough for helping me to get there.
I mean, I admire a lot of things about Cole, but he's been one of my best friends ever since 8th grade. That's when we started playing together. What I most admire about him is probably his work ethic. I mean, he's always in the gym. He's one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet.
You know, his leadership style, he does a lot of it through example, and then he also is not afraid to use his voice to lead, but overall he's positive. Overall, he's a positive leader.
What do I do in the offseason? I put up a lot of shots. That's what my dad's preached to me. My coaches is repetitions count, and I mean I do have a little fun. I love the vacation. I love to spend time with my family, especially being up here all year for basketball. Got to get home and see my family. I mean they mean a lot to me.
Hey, strong. Now, here we go.
I think we're starting to come together now down the stretch, and I think we're playing better, and I think we just need to shore some things up, and we'll get a couple wins.
If all your players give it everything they've got, it makes your job a lot easier, and so as a coach, you try to recruit guys that have a great work ethic, and if you get a group of guys that all have a great work ethic, then your team's going to be pretty good, and it's going to be a fun year.
Reporting for Griffon Update Sports, this is Mackenzie Bose.
Thanks, Mackenzie. The men played Emporia State last weekend and chalked up another win.
You know whose season just started?
Whose?
My favorite, baseball and softball.
Well, I guess it's time we hear what to expect from them this season.
Softball season has returned. Looking ahead to the long season, the Lady Griffins hope to regain MIAA glory and NCAA tournament glory. Players and coaches alike feel there's no added pressure this season, as last season they finished 38-20 with fresh new faces on the team and more experienced players looking to step into bigger roles. They know the season doesn't start off perfect, and there's always things to fine-tune as they move forward. Their most recent competition was in the Arkansas Monticello Division II Challenge, as they went 2-2 on the weekend, and their most notable victory was against Arkansas Tech, where they won 6-2 and snapped their 6-game win streak. On the last day of the Invitational, it was the junior Shelby Ewell who went 3 for 5 on the day with a home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs. Ewell started the season 7 for 11 as she hit .636.
This weekend I think showed a lot of spots that we're really making progress on, but I think it also opened up a lot of areas of what we need to work on and focus on in practice, just some different technical things we were just kind of playing back a little bit, weren't like really attacking the ball. Towards the end of the weekend, though, we started getting more comfortable in the box. I think we have a lot of new faces, so that part's exciting. We bring a lot of different personalities to the team, and we just we get along really well, and we have a lot of fun together, and you can see that on the field because we're always talking and goofing around, but serious when we need to be, I guess. But I just think it's fun to watch us, and it's just a good time out there.
2017 honorable mention All-MIAA pitcher Barbara Billingsley is looking to have a huge 2018 season, as last year she threw 112 strikeouts, was 5th in the MIAA with 20 wins, and had a 2.82 ERA and only allowed 1 triple all season.
It's a new team. We always have those expectations that we need to work up to. We have a good program, and we do pretty well every year. We're always consistently working towards those goals. So the goal is still obviously to win. It's always that common goal.
Looking ahead at the schedule, the Griffins are scheduled for their home opener on February 15th, where Missouri Western will host Minnesota Duluth in a doubleheader. Reporting for Griffon Update Sports, I'm Jake Michael.
Overall, we want to first win an MIAA championship and then move on, make it to regionals again, past that, and then go to the Natty. So, and step up Casey Danley. He's done a really good job so far. We have a second baseman, Brooks Day. He's doing a great job as well. And then we have a couple outfielders that are really stepping up, and quite a few pitchers. Like Carson Dwyer, he started the second game. He did really well as well. I just love the road trips. Hanging out with the teammates. Overall, I love winning ball games, and I have a feeling like we're going to be able to do a lot of that. And and just being able to pitch, of course. I love pitching, so that's what I do. But just hanging out with the team, winning as a team, it's going to be good.
Personally, I just want to do what helps the team the most. I just want to go out and have fun. Team-wise, obviously win an MIAA championship and, make it to the playoffs and go win a natty ship. 1 year under my belt as a Griff definitely helps, being a leader. Just being a supporting guy and, helping everybody else, be better and, helping the team win. Out and having fun each day, each game, just doing what I can to help the team win.
I can't wait for their first home games. They're this Thursday for softball against Minnesota Duluth and Friday for baseball against St. Cloud State. So go out and support your fellow Griffs.
One of the things we do here at Griffon Update Sports is to make sure we give the students on campus a voice. Sometimes we get amusing results. Check out our sports trivia segment, Do You Know Your Sports, with Bailey Ketchum.
Okay, Darrell, who was the MVP of the NBA last year?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay, Lakota, which player in the NBA is a part of the Big Baller brand?
Lonzo Ball.
What team does he play for?
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Good work, good work. Who is the king of the NBA?
LeBron James.
Who is the MVP in the NBA last year?
Russell Westbrook.
Correct. Who is your MVP for the basketball season this year?
Steph Curry.
Why?
He too cold out here. Like 3 buckets in a row. Sure.
All right. Who are the top teams for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference?
Boston and Golden State.
Correct. Who does Kyrie Irving currently play for?
The Boston Celtics.
Who did he play for last year?
The Cavaliers.
What happened to Gordon Hayward at the beginning of the basketball season?
He broke his ankle going up for an alley-oop.
Correct. Who are the top teams in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference?
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the Golden State Warriors and then the Celtics.
You are correct. Who is your MVP this basketball season?
My MVP is always LeBron James. He's a winner. He's a baller.
All right. What team does Kyrie currently play for?
The Celtics.
What team did he play for last year?
Cavaliers.
Good work. Who do they refer to as the king in the NBA?
LeBron James.
Good work.
I think I could have answered most of those questions.
See, you're learning. After this break, we will have more sports trivia with 2 special guests.
A leading problem I've faced is a misunderstanding on the part of students of the importance of academic advising. They miss appointments. They don't make appointments. But what's most disappointing is when they come unprepared. Give me a student with a plan in their head, or better yet, on paper. We could talk about their interests, not just about their classes. We could discuss internships, classwork, grad programs. It would open the door to what advising is truly about.
Can I help you?
But instead, they come to me in a panic when they need to register because...
I need to talk to you. I was trying to register for my classes, but it wouldn't let me do it because I need my PIN, and I haven't had time to set up an advising, so I don't even know what classes I need to take, so I just signed up for a bunch of random ones, and I'm going to drop them later. So can I have my PIN real fast, because I'm still logged into a computer in the lab. Am I interrupting?
Take ownership of your education. Make the most of your advisement by being proactive, punctual, and prepared. You'll open the door to more personalized attention and avoid costly setbacks. It's never too soon to begin planning your next steps at Missouri Western.
Welcome back to our sports trivia segment. Today, Dawson Whitman and Lance Lawton will be competing against each other in sports trivia. The winner, as usual, will be on the show next week. Let's begin. This week, it's all about the NBA All-Star Game. Question 1. Who are the 2 captains of the 2018 NBA All-Star teams?
LeBron and Steph Curry.
Correct. Number 2. What Golden State star is not on Steph Curry's team?
Kevin Durant.
Correct. Number 3. What player on the teams has been in the most All-Star games?
LeBron James.
Correct. Number 4. Who are some of the frenemies on Team LeBron?
LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Correct. Number 5. When is the All-Star game?
February 18th.
Yep. Just messing with you, sorry. Number 6. Who are the starters for Steph's team?
All right, so you have, man, I don't know. I had a total lapse.
Take a guess. All right, you said Curry, correct?
Yep.
So we have Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, James Harden. Oh, man. I'm going to go with Greek Freak. Is he on there? And I have no idea.
And DeRozan.
Oh, okay.
All right, number 7. Who are the starters for LeBron's team?
All right, we'll take a guess. You have Kevin Durant, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook is an alternate, so he's not a starter. Kyrie, and Cousins was, but he got hurt. So let's do, I don't remember the last one.
We'll just keep it with Cousins.
Okay, cool.
All right. Who are the 2 coaches for the teams?
Dwayne Casey and Mark D'Antoni.
Correct. Who are the 2 OKC Thunder players on the All-Star game?
We're going to go with Westbrook and Paul George.
Correct. What number All-Star game is this?
67.
Correct. Last question. Who won the All-Star game last year?
The West.
Correct. Well, Dawson, you have won again. Yes. We'll be right back with our sports roundtable after this.
At Missouri Western, it's on us.
It's on us, all of us, to take responsibility and stop sexual assault.
To create a campus environment where everyone is safe and feels safe.
To realize that ending sexual assault is not an individual endeavor,
but a collective effort.
To understand that it affects not only students, but faculty and staff members alike.
At Missouri Western, we take action.
It's on us to look out for each other and not look the other way.
We step up and say something.
We support survivors. We are going to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
It's on us to intervene and take responsibility.
So take action because we can and will make a difference.
At Missouri Western,
it's on us
to put an end to sexual assault.
Begin by taking the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. Jake and I are here along with Griffon News sports editor Derek Zimmerman-Geyer to talk about a hot sports topic. This week, we're discussing whether college athletes should be paid. Jake, what are your thoughts?
Well, this is obviously a topic that gets a lot of mixed emotions, okay? Student athletes, even, some student athletes take both sides. There's like, it's okay, it's not. But when you think about student athletes being paid, some of that money just isn't, there's no room for them, okay? They think of just football players and basketball players and just those athletes, but you have to consider all the other sports. At Missouri Western, we have 15 athletic programs among men and women. With higher education budget cuts for public schools in Missouri as of today, the law stating that tuition can't be raised because of it, how do universities budget for that sort of thing? And all of a sudden you want student athletes to get paid, well then there's no money for them. And you have to have some money left over, just in case things really plummet. But, that's a whole other aspect of funding that has to be budgeted for, and sometimes there's just no room for that. So just keep it the same. That's what I think. Consider what athletes already get today. You get most of, if not all of your tuition paid for, meal plans, housing, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know all the things they get. But just to take a direct quote from the NCAA, it says that more than 150,000 student athletes receive $2.4 billion, repeat that, billion, that's billion with a B, in athletic scholarships each year from the NCAA. And then college's main priority is that education comes first. That's why it's an institution. That's why it's a university, is for education. So you start using that money to pay athletes. It doesn't go towards, educational resources, better facilities. Believe it or not, there's more students than athletes, so they come first. And it just doesn't feel like a place to get an education. And then everything you want to do to evolve and, add new technology, because things are always evolving every day. And then everything just stays stagnant, and you don't want that.
Jake, I agree. Personally, I just don't think there's enough money for them to be paid. And on another note, college students in general are not fully mature. Take it from a college student himself. But college athletes fall in that category too. And giving them a salary would just be a bad idea. They could end up, wasting all that money if they're not careful. And putting the money in the hands of young kids like that is just a recipe for disaster. Not all college athletes are irresponsible, but there would be a waste of money if a handful of them blew all their cash. And can you just imagine if someone like Johnny Manziel was paid in college, all the things he did while in NFL? Man, if he was paid in college, just like his just like his career. All that money would go up in smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being a college athlete myself, I would love to be paid, but I don't do it for the money. I do it for the love of the sport. And so I think that the NCAA paying college athletes, I think it would just bring a lot of controversy in, because there are those sports like football and basketball, and obviously they're the highest revenue generating sports. So you would think that they would be paid more, and there it just gets unfair, because it's like all the other athletes are putting in the same amount of work, but it's the fact that they're just not as popular and they don't bring in as much money. So I think that, and it's also where do you cut it off? Division I? Would those be the only athletes that would be paid? Would it go to Division II, Division III, NAIA? There's just too many questions, and like we said, I don't think, maybe there's those big D1 schools that have enough money to do scholarships and pay their athletes a salary, but not all schools can do that. So then there's the schools that are lower, and what if their programs start getting cut? I just think that there would be too much controversy from it.
And yeah, I totally agree. And, if you're going to do this, all the athletes should get paid the same, right? Just because, like college basketball, college football, just because they make more revenue, it still seems fair to just pay everybody the same. If you paid one sport more than the other, then kids coming out of high school, they're just going to say, well, forget that sport. I'm not going to do that because it doesn't pay me as much, and I want to, see if I can flourish in this other sport that pays more. Really, if you're going to be a student athlete, you can get a job. In the off season, there's time for that. I know people that do it. If you're just regular students like myself or you, we just go to school, we get a job, we make our money, that's good, and we're happy with doing that. Nobody makes these kids go to school and play sports. That's their decision at the end of the day. But, I think back, the most recent story about this was Shabazz Napier. If you guys remember who that was, he was like a huge college star for University of Connecticut. And then after they won the NCAA tournament in 2014, he said that sometimes he goes to bed hungry because, as a student athlete, he doesn't get paid. And there's only certain times of the day he gets to go eat in the cafeteria as a student athlete because there's not a student athlete cafeteria designated for student athletes. And so there was this whole uproar about it. It didn't gain too much traction, but, it got some people thinking, even legislators, to think, why can't these guys unionize because they should be considered employees that should get paid. But, he makes a good point saying that, universities and licensing companies are selling jerseys with their name, well, not with their name, but with the school's name, his number, just not his name on the back. And they're generating money from that, so where's his cut? And I get that. Thinking about Shabazz, it makes me think that I don't agree with it, but, leave it up to the NCAA. I mean, maybe it's all Division I programs, maybe it's just, colleges from the Power Five. It's up to them, but, somebody's going to have something to say about it. You let one group of people do it, and then everybody else is going to feel like it's unjust, like, oh, we should get paid too. It just doesn't seem right.
Like you said, Bailey, you could see maybe D1 schools doing it because they're big enough, but a D2 school like Missouri Western, where would the money come from? I mean, most of the stuff like Spratt Stadium came from people like Stephen Craig and donations like that. And, the program itself is being funded by the, university. So all that money is going towards gear, transportation, and coaches' salaries. What's going to be left over for, let's see, I have 181 male athletes to my count, kind of off of GoGriffons.com, and 154. And 83 of those athletes are on the football team, active football members. So I just don't see how much you can pay all of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I could agree with that at times as well, just because sometimes being a student athlete is a full-time job, because when I'm in season, I am either going to school or I'm at soccer. Those are like the two things. I don't have a lot of time for other things, and we did really well. So it's like when teams do play in those championship games and they host conference games like my team did, we kind of are like, oh, well, we actually brought in quite a bit of revenue to the school this year, so it'd be nice if we could see that. And I feel like it could almost be an incentive to teams. It's like, okay, if these athletes that are bringing in revenue because they're hosting games, because their team is doing so well, then like maybe if we get to that level, we can get paid too. And so I can see that as an incentive, but still I just feel like there would be a lot of controversy, and then with that, student athletes, there will be problems between them because some are getting paid, some aren't, and there's just a lot of issues.
I hate to bring up LeVar Ball, but if you want to be like his kids, pull them out of school, go to Lithuania. You want to make your money, then fine. But at the end of the day, you are being deprived of a good experience of going to college and meeting new people and all that stuff. But that's what they did. They chased money, as if they weren't well-to-do already, but they did. And it was mostly for, I guess, branding purposes and to get the exposure, playing against better competition. But that's a route that some kids can take. Now, it's a very select few, but some kids take that route.
You just had to sneak the Ball family in there, did you?
I know.
Well, like I said about Johnny Manziel, if someone like him got paid to play college football with the lifestyle he lived, that would be an atrocity.
Yeah, the Balls, it's like they have such a pro mindset because their motive is money and with their brand. And I just don't think at the college level because it removes some of the competitive nature that student athletes have. So I don't think that mindset should be this early on. Only when they're looking on to the pros, then they should get that mindset. But it's going to be an ongoing topic, but it's up to the NCAA to figure out what they want to do. After this break, we'll take a look at more results from sports and this week's upcoming sporting events. Welcome back. Before we end the show, we want to give you more updates about what's going on with all Missouri Western sports.
Women's basketball traveled to Emporia State last Saturday and had an upsetting loss. Baseball traveled to Arkansas Tech last weekend and went 2-2 on the weekend. Softball also traveled to Arkansas Tech last weekend and went 2-2 on the weekend. Men's and women's track and field continue to break records at the Gorilla Classic with over 10 records broken, and freshman Hannah Williams earning an NCAA Division II provisional mark in the 400.
For the upcoming schedule, men's basketball returns home in their final home games of the season against Pittsburgh State on Saturday at 4. Women's basketball also has their last home game Saturday against Pittsburgh State at 2. Men's and women's track and field travels to Lincoln, Nebraska this weekend to compete in the Nebraska Tune-Up.
That's all we have for you today. For more information on Griffon Athletics, check out gogriffons.com. Also, check out Bailey's Sports Report on Griffon Update next week.
We've got you covered every week. From all of us here at Griffon Update Sports, thank you for watching.